movie theater English. So today we're just going to take a look at some words talking about movie theaters and a few phrases that you can use when you're there. Let's say you're visiting America or Australia or England and you want to know something. Some of these words and phrases might help you, okay? Because, yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but you'll be fine. Some of the questions are not so hard, but putting everything together can be a little bit tricky. So let's just get started. First up, very basic. The most simple word is theater. So you can call this place a theater. You could call it a movie theater. You could also call it a cinema. But normally, we'll just call it the theater or movie theater. And in American English, we use ER. In England, they might write RE. I think in Canada, they would also write RE. But American English, we write ER, theater. It doesn't change the sound, it's just a different way to spell it. Another way to say this is cinema. People in America do not really say cinema. Cinema is more British English. So if you're in the UK, you could say, oh, I'm going to the cinema. But in America, nobody really says that. So the theater could be the movie theater, the big building, or it could also be this one room. So this one space is called a theater. And the big place, the movie theater, might have many theaters inside of it. So you might say to your friend, oh, we're going to theater 5. Your ticket will say which theater you're in. So, oh, we're going to theater 5. Or a different movie is in theater 6, so don't go there. Okay? And then, easy peasy, this white thing is called the screen. You can also use screen to talk about the screen on your phone. You could also use you could also use this word to talk about the screen for your computer. The screen is what shows you something, okay? So I might say, I want to sit close to the screen. I want the screen to be big, so I want to sit close to the screen. And then these are chairs, of course. But usually for a movie theater, we say seats. So 1 seat, 2 seats. And you could talk about where your seat is or just seats in general. You might hear someone say, oh, I hope we can get good seats. You don't want to be in the corner because that will be hard to see. You'll be watching the movie with your head turned the whole time. Kind of frustrating. So I hope we can get good seats. You want to be right in the middle. Perfect, right? Oh, Chempe says, personally, I like the movie theater in Eslite Spectrum Songyan store. It's small but cozy. And they will play some interesting movies that you can't find in other movie theaters. Okay, good. Yeah, so the movie theater at Songyan, which is the Songshan Creative Park, something like that. Yeah, it's a small theater, but they will show more artsy movies. So something like Vaisho will get the big, popular, fancy, crazy movies. The Eslite movie theater in Songyan will have lots of smaller movies, maybe indie movies or art house movies. I'll type that in here. Indie or art house. Let me double check. I think. Yeah, these are words to describe movies that are not big, expensive movies, but they're more, well, they less expensive to make and maybe more artistic. But yeah, that's a good movie theater too. That's cool. Okay, so we talked about theater, screen, seats, some basic words. Now, when you enter the movie theater, the building, the first thing you need to do is to buy tickets or find out when the movies are happening, right? So you can go to a place called the box office. A box office is where you buy your tickets. It's not always called the box office. You can also just call it the ticket counter. That's fine too. But traditionally, like for a long time, people have called it the box office. And when you talk about if a movie was successful, like if it made a lot of money, you might talk about the box office, how much money it made at the box office. And that means how many tickets did people buy for that movie, okay? So first you want to go to the box office. You could also call it the ticket counter, and you want to buy tickets to the movie that you want to see. Usually you might already know what's playing at the movie theater. So we're not going to talk about like, oh, what movies are playing. That's kind of old-fashioned. Now everyone looks on their phone first. But you might ask about a showing. A showing means one time that they show the movie. So one movie will be in the theater like maybe 6 times in one day. Each showing is a different time that they play the movie. So you might ask at the box office, oh, when is the next showing for blah, 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 blah. And so they would tell you the soonest it's going to play next. The word showing, for example, we could say, oh, we're going to the 6:45 showing. Meaning that this is the time that they're going to show the movie one time. What am I saying? A showing is one time they show the movie. You can put the time to tell someone which time you're going to. There's the 6:45 showing and the 8 o'clock showing. Which one do you want to go to? Oh, let's go to the 6:45 showing. Does that make sense? Okay. Another good word to know is a matinee. Now, I think this comes from French, probably, because EE at the end sounds like AY. Matinee. Matinee. A matinee is an early showing. That could be like during the day or the early afternoon. So this might be a movie showing at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. or even as late as 4 or 5 p.m. So a matinee is an early showing because most of the showings of the movies will be at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, later in the evening, right? So if you say to someone, hey, do you want to go see a matinee? They know you want to go see that movie in the middle of the day when it's sunny outside. This would be really good for now in Taiwan. It's super hot, so going to a matinee would be a nice way to stay out of the sun, enjoy the AC, and get to watch a movie. That's a good idea. Maybe I should go to a matinee this weekend. Okay. What are some things you might ask at the box office? Well, some basic stuff. You might ask, how much are tickets for Spider-Man? Of course, you can change this to whatever movie. So you could ask, how much are tickets? Here, you don't need to say the word money. You can just say how much. They know you're talking about the price. So how much are tickets for Spider-Man? You're just asking the price for one ticket. Okay? You might also ask, how long is the movie? This is an important question to ask because recently, movies are getting longer and longer. A lot of movies are more than 2 hours, and some crazy movies are more than 3 hours, right? It's just silly. Another question you might ask is the movie available in IMAX? This is pronounced IMAX. IMAX means the screen is super, super, super big. And it's just this giant thing that fills fills the world with the movie. This is really good for like really beautiful looking movies. So you might want to see it in IMAX because it will look amazing. Maybe that's a little overwhelming. It might be too much, like, too much movie. But maybe you want to see that for some really cool stuff. So is the movie available in IMAX? Okay. And then if you decide to buy the tickets, you can use this sentence right here. Can I get 2 tickets for the 7 p.m. showing, please? So there's that word showing again. This is 7 p.m. showing, meaning the time they're showing the movie at 7 o'clock, right? Oh, I'm making this more confusing, but I think you know what I mean by showing. So, of course, you can ask this a million different ways, but it's very common to say, can I get, or could I have? May I have is a little formal, but you could say, can I get 2 tickets? Can I have 2 tickets? Could I get 2 tickets? Could I have 2 tickets? Whatever. All of these are okay. So can I get 2 tickets for the 7 p.m. showing, please? If you're ever not sure, add please to the end to make it a little bit nicer. Okay. So maybe this is all you need and it's easy peasy. You're ready to go. But you might have something you want to check about first before you buy those tickets. If you're in the United States, when you go see a movie, there is no text on the screen. You're only listening to the voices. And so that might be difficult for some of you. If they're only speaking English and you have to listen to the English, maybe it might be a little bit difficult for your listening skills. I'm not sure. Or you might miss little parts of the story. I'm not sure. So you might want to ask about text on the screen. Now this is called subtitles. Subtitles means they're titles, meaning like words on the screen, and the word sub is because they're low on the screen. So subtitles. This is usually used when talking about a movie that is in a different language. Maybe you're watching a movie and they're speaking French. The subtitles will be in English so you can see what they're saying. Okay? Most movies will not have subtitles. That's just how it works in America. People aren't used to having subtitles if it's English. Okay? Another thing you could ask about is closed captions. Sometimes it's written as CC. If you're on Netflix, you might see English CC, closed captions. I'm not exactly sure where this name comes from, but what it means is it's text. And it's text almost the same as subtitles, but they will also they'll write any sounds that are happening. Like it might say, music is playing, happy music, or the sound of a car. It will write it at the bottom. Closed captions are designed for deaf people, people who cannot hear. And so if a movie is only talking with no text on the screen, you have to have good hearing. If your hearing is bad, maybe you need closed captions. So for you, as a non-native English speaker, you might ask them about subtitles. You could say, are subtitles available for this movie? So that means, do you have subtitles for this movie? Are subtitles available? They'll probably say no, because the movie is in English. Why would we have subtitles? That doesn't make sense. Or that's the way people think in America. Oh, they're speaking English. We don't need subtitles. So if you feel like you need the text, you might ask about closed captions. Okay? Now, subtitles, the words will be on the screen, some places, the closed captions might be on a little device, a little machine. And so maybe, I've never used one of these before, but maybe they can let you borrow one or let you use one. And you can ask, are there any showings with closed captions? Some closed captions might be on the screen, some might be on this little device. So are there any showings with closed captions? When you look at the times, some of them might write CC next to the time. That tells you they might have closed captions. But you can always ask. English AD. I'm not sure what you're talking about. 口述影像. Okay. I don't know what AD is, but it's called CC in English. Closed captions. But yeah, thank you, Duffy. I think that's probably right. But anyways, yeah, so you can ask, are the subtitles available for... I'm speaking too quickly. Are subtitles available for this movie? They'll probably say no. No, sorry. They're speaking English, so there are no subtitles. Then you can ask about closed captions. Are there any showings with closed captions? And then they might say, oh, the 7 p.m. showing has closed captions. And then you can go back and say, okay, can I get 2 tickets for the 7 p.m. showing, please? Okay? Easy peasy, right? Maybe not. But yeah, subtitles are what you'll use on Netflix. Closed captions are what you might have to ask for if you go to a theater in America. Okay? Next up, let's look at seating. In Taiwan, when you buy a ticket to a movie theater, if you buy a ticket to a movie, you can tell I didn't sleep much. When you buy a ticket to a movie, you can choose your seat. In America, most movie theaters, you do not choose your seat. You just have to go and find a seat. So you might need to go early to make sure you get a good seat. That's sounds kind of crazy, right? But that's just how it works. It's very annoying. I think it's annoying. Taiwan is doing it better for movie theaters. But you might need to go to the movie theater like an extra 20 or 30 minutes before the movie starts to make sure you get a seat. But you can ask this at the box office. So you can ask them, is it assigned seating or general admission? So this is a good question to know. What are these two phrases? Assigned seating or general admission? Let's first talk about general admission. General, you might remember that word. General means normal, regular, like everyone's the same. Admission means going into something, like the word admit, A-D-M-I-T, to go into some event. So general admission means whatever, everyone's the same. So general admission means first come, first served seating. So you need to get there first, you come first, and then you're first served. So if you arrive early, you get the seat you want. That's called general admission. I think it's annoying, but that's the way it works for movie theaters. For something like a baseball game, it's not general admission, so don't worry about that. But movie theaters, you have to go early. The opposite is assigned seating, or you could call it reserved seating. Now, these two are the same, but the words are a little different. Assigned means they give you a seat. So, they give you a seat. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. So, assign means someone gives something to you or says, like, this is yours now. Reserved seating, For a movie theater, it's the same idea, but what this means is that you claim the seat. Assign means they give it to you. Reserve means you claim it and say, that's mine. So just the verbs are different. Assign, give, reserve, that's mine. Okay? And so you could ask them, is it assigned seating or general admission? If they say, oh, it's assigned seating, that means you get to choose a seat. And you could also simply ask them, can we choose our seats? The answer might be say, okay, what seats would you like? Or they might just say, sorry, it's general admission. And then you say, oh God, I have to run to the movie theater. And then take the best seat. Okay. Okay, next up. Now, when you want to choose your seats, it's not every movie theater that's general admission. There are some where you can choose your seats. So how do we choose? How do we say which seats we want? Okay, we need to understand the movie theater a little bit. We talked about the screen. The screen is up front, the thing you're looking at. So you want to figure out where the screen is. Down here, these are called aisles. One aisle, two aisles. There are a lot of letters in this word, but it just sounds like almost like I-L. I-L. Just like those two letters. But you say them quickly and put them together. Aisle. Aisle. Okay? So that's called the aisle, the place where you can walk. And then across like this, these are called rows. So this is row D. This one back here, this is row L. Okay? Or it might be, well, usually the rows are letters and then the seats are numbers. So I want row G, seat number 5, right there. Okay? So you can use these words, aisle and row, to try to tell them which seats you want. So if you want to focus on the aisle, you could say, can we get aisle seats? This is what I usually will ask for an airplane. I like to sit on the aisle on an airplane. So can we get aisle seats? Why? I got a large soda, so I might need to go to the bathroom. If you're sitting at the aisle, like here, well, H right here, then you can run to the bathroom after you drink your large soda, right? Okay. Now, what about row? What row do you want to sit in? You might say, oh, I'd like to sit in row D. This is what I would usually choose. I'd like to sit in row D. It's close to the screen, but it's not too close. So if I go to a movie theater, I'm usually in either C or D. I try to pick D, sometimes C. Now why? Well, in front of the screen, there's usually empty space. So A is not super, super close anyways. And then C or D is close to the screen, but it's not too close. I get this great view of the screen, but I'm not going to hurt my neck. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, the front row was really close to the screen. So if you were in A, B, C, or D, your neck would be broken. Like watching the movie like that. Ouch! But now there's this space between row A and the screen. Okay? Now, what else? They might give you a seat back here in row M. And then you could say, oh, I don't want to sit in a back row. Okay? Well, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to sit in a back row because the screen looks too small. So for me, I would never choose J, K, L, or M. I think that's crazy. You're so far back, the screen is little. Why not just watch the movie at home, I think. I want the screen to be big and filling my vision. So I don't want to sit in a back row because the screen looks too small. That's my opinion, right? So what do you think? Where would you like to sit? I would like to sit in row D in the middle. Do you like row H in the middle, or do you like the aisle seats? What do you think? I would recommend try row D in the middle next time you go. You might be afraid, oh, it's too close, but no, it's awesome. It's great. Okay, let's see. Next up, we mentioned if you get aisle seats, you have to be careful. Or you might get aisle seats because you had a large soda. And so if you go to a movie theater, one of the big things to do is to go to the concession stand. That's what we call this at a movie theater. The word concessions means like snacks and drinks and things you need. Because in America, you cannot bring food and drinks from outside. Well, you can, but you have to hide it in your bag. You have to sneak it in. If they catch you, they might make you throw it away. So people will hide snacks and bring it in. But if you're nervous about hiding things and sneaking it into the movie theater, you can go to the concession stand and buy some expensive snacks. So what do they have? Well, they have popcorn, of course. In America, I don't think they usually have sweet popcorn. In Taiwan, you can get sweet or salty. In America, it's usually only salty. And then they might ask you, do you want butter? And you could say yes or no. It's always going to be salty, but it's either yes or no butter. If you get butter, it's delicious, but it's horribly unhealthy. So be careful about the butter. Now, another thing is candy. Candy is the perfect movie snack, I think. I like to get Sour Patch Kids or Skittles. But candy is perfect for a movie to me. Movie theaters, the concession stand might also have pretzels. Pretzels are popular movie foods in America. There's salt on it, and maybe they will give you some mustard to put on it. Mustard is a yellow sauce, 芥末酱. A pretzel with mustard is pretty delicious. Now, another thing in America is that they might have nachos at the movie theater. So people will get a plate of nachos and eat it during the movie. I don't think I would want to do that because nachos are crunchy. So you're watching the movie and going, maybe people will be annoyed, or maybe you just can't hear the movie because there are no subtitles, right? You have to listen to what they're saying. It's like, Betty, you. Did he say I love you or I hate you? I didn't hear it. So nachos might come with one of two sauces. Nachos are these corn tortilla chips. It might come with these two sauces. This one on the left is called queso. Queso is a Spanish word for cheese, but this sauce, we call it queso dip or queso sauce. So cheese sauce for your nachos. Then here on the right is salsa. Salsa is tomato sauce, but it's a little bit spicy with peppers and onions inside. It's really good. So they might ask you, with your nachos, do you want queso or do you want salsa? And you might say, oh, I want queso. This is a Q, but because it's Spanish, it sounds like a K. Queso. Queso. If you ever eat Spanish or Mexican food, you might see this word, queso. Okay. At the concession stand, they will also have beverages, of course. Beverages is a fancy word to say drinks. Beverages. Ignore this E in the middle. Beverages. Beverages. For example, soda. At a movie theater, usually it's only soda. So sorry if you want a black tea or something. America probably only has soda. Now, what are some questions you can ask at the concession stand? Well, if you're bold, if you're brave, you might ask, "Can I bring my own snacks?" What are they going to say? Probably they'll say, "No, of course not." "Can I bring my own snacks?" No. So, this is just a reminder, you can't bring your own snacks. Or if you do, don't tell anyone. Hide them in your backpack, okay? Now, if you want to order, like we said before, you can say, "Can I get?" You could also say, "Could I have?" Could I have is a nice, polite way to ask. So you might say, "Could I have a large popcorn and a medium soda, please?" Remember to add the word please at the end, just to be extra polite. "Could I have a large popcorn and a medium soda, please?" You go up at the end, please. You might also ask this question. Do you have any combo deals? A combo is short for combination. Come on, computer. Combination means putting things together. So maybe nachos and a soda. That could be a combo. Or popcorn, candy, and a soda. That might be another combo. So a combo is putting things together. A deal means you're saving money. So combo deal. Do you have any combo deals? They might say, "Oh yeah, if you get popcorn and a soda, it's $8.99. You go, "Oh my God, that's so expensive." But full price is even more expensive. So at a concession stand in America, snacks are really expensive. So if you can, sneak your stuff in. If you're not brave enough, you can get a combo. It's still going to be expensive though. And then you can ask, if you want to know, if you're not sure yet, you might ask, "How much is a small bag of candy?" Or "How much is a small bag of popcorn?" Or "How much is a small soda?" You'll probably be shocked. They make you pay way too much movie at movie theaters in the US. So that's why everyone sneaks their own snacks in. But sometimes you really want that movie theater popcorn. It's fresh, it's really unhealthy, but it's really delicious too, right? Okay, so I think that's about it for our movie theater English for today. We talked about a few different things. We talked about basically some words to describe the inside of the theater. We talked about the box office, some things you need to know about buying tickets, like when's the next showing? Oh, can we go to a matinee tomorrow? And then we talked about some questions you could ask about that. And then some things you could say to make sure you understand the movie. You could ask, "Oh, do they have subtitles?" Or if they say no, you could ask, "Do you have any showings with closed captions?" Those CCs, meaning the words to help you understand. It doesn't have to be on this little machine. Closed captions might be on the screen. That would be better, I think. And then we talked about how to find a seat. Is it general admission? Do you have to run and get a seat 30 minutes before the movie starts? Or is it assigned seating? Do you get to choose your seat? And then you could choose an aisle seat or choose the row that you like. Find the perfect spot for you. My dad has a saying. He thinks that the perfect place to sit in a movie theater is in this area. And he calls it the sound diamond. because it's like a diamond shape in the middle of the movie theater. You don't want to be in these corners. You want to be right in that diamond to get the best sound. So, we need seats in the sound diamond. So a classic dad thing to say. So, can we get aisle seats? Oh no, if we sit there, we'll be outside of the sound diamond. And then what are we doing? Kind of a funny thing, right? And then we also talked about concession stands. A stand is a place where you get stuff or buy stuff. Concessions is another way to say snacks or drinks. So I think this is probably a new word for you. But that's just what we call it at a movie theater. The place you get snacks and drinks is called the concession stand. And then we learned a couple questions you can ask to help you get what you want. So I think that's it for today. Not super complicated, but I hope you had a good time. Learned a little bit of something new. Maybe learned a couple new words. And I hope you had a good time. Okay? So does anyone have any questions? If you do, leave it in the chat or leave a comment later. Or you could always send me a message. That's fine too. But then I think we can stop here for today. Maybe we should all go see a matinee to get out of the heat so we can cool down in the air conditioning and enjoy a movie. Let's stop here for today. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you learned something new. Thank you again for joining, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.